happening, epic people? I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all getting out on the bike, learning a lot, riding a lot, chilling with your mates. So chuck it down in the comments below where you've been, what you've been up to, what you've been learning, what you're trying to perfect, and if there's anything I can do a video about just to help you guys along. So really what my topic for today is, because I was actually watching a good friend of mine on YouTube called the Btecbikerr, and him and his mate Matt, I believe they're both from Birmingham. Boys, don't slay me if that's wrong, but I believe they're quite close to Birmingham. And they have another channel together called TheBikerguys. If you haven't had a chance to, man, give them a follow. They're funny, you know, it's certainly upcoming. They will be very much an amusing watch in the future. Anyway, so the Btecbikerr, he actually did a video recently, 4 days ago I believe it was, and what he mentioned was why he rides, and he said it's for his mental health, you know, it's like his therapy. And what it made me think was, why do we love motorcycles so much? What is it about them? And I'm sure there's, you know, thousands and thousands of videos just like this, but I just wanted to put my take on it. Now, whether you ride for chilling out with your mates, whether you ride for work, whether you ride just to be a hooligan, or whether did you get pushed into it? Is it something that a relative was like, no, I want my, you know, want my family to be bikers? You know, are you in a biker club? That'd be a very interesting one. So for whatever reason you ride, chuck it in the comments below, because I want to hear all about it. Now a little bit of background. Why did I start riding? Well, you know, from a bubby, I've always had bikes around me, and it only comes from one person in my family, and that was my dad. As far as I'm aware, nobody else in my family actually rode motorbikes. My dad was a dispatch rider in London, Korea, another name for him. But I'm going to pop a video series in the description below. Fantastic, absolutely amazing, called Mad Dogs. And it basically, you know, shows, you know, London dispatch riders, what they had to go through day in, day out, and how they made their money. And essentially, for anybody who doesn't know, a dispatch rider basically delivered packages and important letters and things like that. Not like you see today, you know, with sort of food deliveries, Deliveroo. I don't know, man, it did seem to me that was what I wanted to do. But having now grown up, I've now got my young family, and I'm living in sunny Norfolk, so I sort of went in the complete opposite direction, quite literally. And I actually cut hair for a living. Yeah, it's not quite being on the bike and delivering those parcels that I thought I would do, just like my dad. But I digress. It's not a big thing. You know, I think I'm just more proud of the fact that he did do that, and it's very encouraging. And I suppose I took a lot of influence to the way I ride, what I know because of what he's taught me. Not to mention he then became a motorcycle instructor later, which I then believe that if you were one of his students, you would have experienced such a different style of tuition due to the very aggressive nature that a dispatch rider had to ride, as opposed to sort of your Sunday rider getting himself out sort of once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks if his missus lets him. No offence, dudes. You know, please don't take offence to that whatsoever. It's just if that's the only time you've got to ride, that's the only time you've got to ride. If you don't particularly want to commute on the thing, I completely get it, guys. That is what it is. So back on the topic at hand. So that was my influence. So I've always had that around me, and then I suppose growing up as a teenage lad, I then had a lot of mates with cars, bikes back in Essex, and you know, we were all into very much the same thing. It was just because we were all naturally into bikes and cars and whatnot, you tend to just sort of gravitate towards each other. So I suppose really that's where it all come from. So sorry if it gets a little bit windy, guys. I will do my best with the audio to chop that wind. Anyway, so why do I love riding motorcycles? Well, the reason why I love riding motorcycles is, I suppose it's that all-time classic reasoning of it gives me freedom, much more freedom than what I feel behind the wheel of a car. Don't get me wrong, I like driving cars, but I don't like commuting on them. I don't like travelling to and from work, being stuck behind this, you know, behind this cage, behind being stuck in traffic as well. I don't like being stuck in traffic. Not that I'm impatient, like I don't just fly through everything, but I certainly don't like being sat there. I actually got rear-ended in an old MX-5 of mine before by an Arctic lorry on the A12. So yeah, since then, man, I can't bear it. So I suppose that sense of freedom that you can't really get from any other vehicle is just so good. What are the reasons? The community, you know, I enjoy the chat, I suppose. You know, it's a community like no other. You know, you spot another biker, you could be very sure you're probably going to have a decent chat with them. You know, you could pretty much be stopped anywhere, and if you see another biker, a lot of the time they will have a good chat with you about it. If you need help, if you're stuck in the side of the road, you'll be sure they'll probably stop and give you a hand. I've had that quite a few times, and it's funny, so the list can go on and on and on, but you know, overall it's because it's just way more fun than other things, and you feel like you're in a class of your own. I've earned this spot. That's how it feels. Like I earned my time on this bike, because it's not an easy of task. No, I get when you pass your driving test, you know, for your car, that's not an easy thing to do either. But I don't know, man. There's far more donuts that seem to pass their driving test than there are donuts passing their motorcycle test these days, that's for sure. So I do truly believe it takes a particular kind of person to pass their motorcycle test, and not so much to pass their driving test. I mean no offence if I offend anybody, it's just my opinion. Opinions are like arseholes, everybody's got one, and they're not always clean, so don't sweat it, guys, please. So really, that's my sort of take on why I ride motorcycles. You know, I love the learning, I like being able to get new gear, I like being able to keep it fresh and exciting. I like the, you know, the mastering the craft behind it. You know, there's always something to learn. There's never an ending loop of something to learn. And it's very, very hard to get bored of it, if ever get bored of it. You know, it's the movement behind it. It's just one of these things, like I've always wanted my motorcycle license. I mean, you can't do that in a car. And the sounds, listen to the sound, it's just different. You do not get that in a car. I don't care whether you're driving a McLaren or a cheap Vauxhall Corsair with a pop and bang map. Go down McDonald's on a Friday night, ooh, pop, 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 pop. Sorry guys, don't mean to have a dig, I'm just playing, I mean it. I've driven cars just the same, except without a pop and bang map. We made the pops ourselves. So anyway, I digress. It's just that feeling you couldn't get from a car. That's why we do it. That is exactly why we do it. And if you don't yet, and you stumbled across this video, welcome very much to the channel, guys. And if at all I could ever convince you to ride a motorcycle, then please go take a CVT, have a try of it, see how you like it, and you never know, guys, you might just discover it's a bit of you. I'm always trying to encourage people to become new riders. I'm always trying to encourage other riders to become better riders. Building up a community is what this whole game's about. So if you're unsure about taking the plunge, starting on a motorcycle, then drop me a DM or drop down in the comments and just ask away. I can guarantee you now that the motorcycle scene is very, very different from the car scene. I've spent many years in the car scene, I've spent many years in the motorcycle scene, so I've managed to, over the years, see both sides of it. Even the old motorcyclists, the ones who seem grumpy and they've always been very courteous to me. Everybody nods to each other, look, see? The community is just better. Even the police just give you a nod. See? You never get that from a police officer in a car. Well, 9 times out of 10 you won't. They'll just look at you like you're doing something wrong. So, if that is not already a reason to start riding a motorcycle, I don't know what is. Alright guys, I'm going to wrap this one up because I'm nearly at work. I've got to begin my day of cutting hair, which is not so bad I suppose. At least I get to talk all day, I get to talk bollocks. And I suppose convince other people in my chair to become motorcyclists. I just grab it in their ear all day long about bikes. Bike, whether they like them or not. Well, why won't your missus like you on a bike? Well, you know, it's just dangerous or whatever. I'm like, oh, right, well, let me tell you why they're not. See how many people we can get over. If you haven't yet, hit that like and subscribe, as I always say. My own little plug of my channel, thank you very much. It really does help out. Thank you, my dudes. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.